Hey everybody, we are back again with some
NFL football.
NFL football. We are already into week 3.
And what has already been a strange year.
It has been a strange year, but we're still though. We got week 2 over. We're into week 3. Everything seems to be going good. They're not shutting anything down, so it looks like we might actually have us a good season of NFL football. So thank you very much for that. But what we're going to do today, we're going to recap a little.
Week 2, and we're going to cover week 3.
Week 3. Do a little predictions on week 3. Said it's hard to predict early in the year because you really don't, especially this year. I mean,
especially this year because there's been no practice and
no preseason, no practice. Teams are out there going. Yes,
they just dive right in.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But we're gonna do a little recap on week 2 first. First of all, we had Thursday night. We had the Bengals at the Browns. The Browns
win for the Browns that they really needed.
The Browns needed that really bad. The Bengals didn't really need it. They got the rookie quarterback. You know, there's some space
Decent
there.
Performance by Joe Burrow, but they actually gave him a little time this time around.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. The Bengals offensive line's a little struggling. You could say that, but the Browns needed that badly. If the Browns didn't win that, then
they would have had a rough season.
They would have had a rough season. Yeah, but they won 35-30. And now jumping into Sunday, we'll just jump into one of the most exciting games and one of a game that almost killed me. The Falcons and the Cowboys.
I remember just that one day, Super Bowl 51.
Yeah, when they were up
28-3.
8-3
against the Patriots.
Yeah, and then the Falcons again were up 20-10 at 20-0, starting out 29-10 at halftime, and the Cowboys somehow won. The Cowboys, man, I'm a Cowboys fan. You know I'm a Cowboys fan. Man, it looked like the same old Cowboys are for a while, and finally in the second half, suddenly they figured out how to score. And then that is the weirdest onside kick I think I've ever seen in my time. You know, I've seen them pop them, I've seen them bounce them, I've seen them kick them right down the middle.
Felt like a sideways frisbee.
It was a helicopter. I've never seen a helicopter onside kick before, and I think it was so weird. The Falcons special teams went, "What are we supposed to do with this? It's just spinning around in circles." And they just watched it go 10 yards, and Dallas picked it up. That should have never happened. The Falcons should have won that game. But I'll take a W. That was just weird, man.
Can we mention how the Falcons just utterly choked this game away?
I need a drink of water. Choking. I'm sorry. I don't know, man. Yeah.
Was that more of a Falcon choke or a Cowboy win?
No, that was a Falcon choke. I'm a Cowboy fan, but that was a Falcon choke. I mean, you can't be up 20 points and 29-10 at halftime. And
somebody's job has to be on the line this year.
They got
Atlanta.
They got outscored 30-10 in the second half.
That is pitiful.
30-10.
That is pitiful.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. I don't know if they just get ahead by 20 points and they go in a shell and quit playing and think, we got this one won, man. And then it's too late.
Haven't they not learned their lesson from years past?
I know. I told you, though, just as soon as they lost that Super Bowl after being up 28-3,
time to tear down the ship.
They should have just tore the team apart right then because it's never going to be the same again. And then after this one, they might as well just blow that sucker up because it's over. Now the Falcons' offense is explosive, but they just can't play defense or as a team. Something's when you score 29 in a half and only 10 in the second half.
There's a problem.
Then you only give up 9 in the first half, but then give up 30.
There's a problem with that team inside the locker room somewhere.
Somewhere, yeah, or coaching or something. But we'll jump into the second game, which was another. We did have some really good games this weekend. Jaguars at the Titans.
The Jaguars are showing themselves to be a bit of a scrappy team.
The Jaguars may be a decent team. It's hard to put those words together there.
Basically made of Minshew mania and a bunch of rookies that they drafted.
Yeah, they dumped almost all their talent and threw Minshew in there, and they're actually playing pretty good, which is weird.
Do you think they needed to get rid of the toxic? Did you think they needed to get rid of the toxic
environment, the toxic players. Sometimes you do have to get rid of the toxicity out of a team, and then all of a sudden it's not a bad team anymore. And that may have been what
They don't have
what
a half
happened
bad
there.
staff of coaches either.
But again, Tennessee kicked
Tennessee
a
kicked
field
a
goal
long field goal to clinch the game.
to clinch the game at the end. Yeah, so
Titans
that
are
was pretty
2-0
good.
for the first time in a decade.
yeah, and honestly, Tannehill's put the naysayers to the side. He's looked good. I mean, I was a naysayer. I can't say anything. But Tannehill, what he threw.
Try not to give up 30 points next time.
How can you quietly throw for 4 touchdowns? I mean, did you know Tannehill threw for 4 touchdowns?
I looked at the stat sheet and I saw he had 4 touchdowns. I was like,
It's like, I mean, he quietly threw for 4 touchdowns against the Jaguars. So, a good team. We had the Broncos at the Steelers.
the Steelers defense showing up again, and they're looking
Yeah.
like one of the top units in the National
The
Football League.
Steelers, they are. And the Broncos, we had a lot of injuries this week. We'll sort of talk about them as we go through. But Drew Lock went out
With a shoulder injury.
with a shoulder injury, so they've lost their starting quarterback there, and they already had lost Von Miller. So the Broncos are sort of looking like a mash unit right now. And really, the worst thing that probably happened to them is they picked up Blake Bortles.
Good luck with that.
He's Bortling. How many interceptions do you think he'll throw this week? I don't know. Is Bortles going to start?
1, a 2.
don't know.
Do you have a 3?
I don't know, but yeah, the Steelers won that one. We had the Panthers at the Bucks, and Brady looked pretty good. The Panthers are in rebuilding mode. I was sort of hoping they would have just a pow coming out of it, but they're in rebuild mode.
Rebuild. That's
Yeah.
what I expected coming into this year. I didn't have any high expectations.
And it's really going to be rebuild mode now because Christian McCaffrey went out with a high ankle sprain, and he's on the IR, which means he's out at the minimum 3 weeks. So
It's better to suck than to be just painfully mediocre for years on end.
hey, we could do like I was saying, the number 1 draft pick coming up, Trevor Lawrence. There's very few years that there's a player comes along that you would like, man, I would take that player. And every team's going,
That means the Panthers are going to go for
I'd
him.
probably take that. I mean, why not? Tank for Trevor, baby. Tank for Trevor. Tank for him. We had the Chiefs at the Chargers. Man, that was another good one. Overtime.
Overtime effort. The Chargers seemed like they had the Chiefs there for a bit.
They did. And then the Chiefs turned into the Chiefs.
And came back.
Back.
Won the game in overtime with
Was
a
that
long field goal.
was that the 50-yard field goal?
With Harrison Butker, yeah.
Yeah, he hit. Did he hit 3 of them?
He iced him twice and he still made them.
Yeah, he made a 53-yarder, and then there was a penalty, so they called it back 5 yards. And then he kicked a 58-yarder, but they called a timeout and iced him. So he kicked a 3rd field goal. I mean, we've had some bad field goal kicking this year. They've looked really bad. But, dude, that kick trick made 3 50-plus yard field goals in a row without sitting down.
Calm and collected, maybe.
It was
But
good.
he saved the Chiefs, and they're 2-0 once again.
They're 2-0 once again and rolling. We had the Giants at the Bears.
Speaking of injury,
Yeah. The
Saquon Barkley is done for
done
the
for
year.
the year. Tore ACL. I hate seeing players go out. Man, that's their livelihood. That's what they do for a living. How they
Now
feed
he's
their
going to have to
family.
spend a whole year trying to rehab from injuries.
There are certain teams that I don't like, but I love all the players. Man, they're out there making a living and they're doing what they need to do. And it's sad to see, especially a superstar go out that we don't, as a fan, we don't get to enjoy seeing
Yeah,
what
it
he can
sucks
do.
to see him go down like that. But
We've
the
had to
Giants
win a
have
bunch of
found a replacement in Devontae Freeman, the former Falcon running back.
which is not a bad way. He's not Saquon, but he's not a bad running back. So, I mean, they've got a young team, and they're probably going to struggle. But
the Bears defense did just enough for them to win that game.
yeah,
Usually
yeah.
that's the
That's
case.
basically what it is. Yeah,
Because they
Trubisky's
got-
not going to score 40 points and kill anybody. It's got to be the defense. We had the Lions at the Packers, and man, Aaron Rodgers is still
Aaron Rodgers and Aaron Jones is
the running back. He had like
exploded on
70, 60, or 80 yards receiving, 160, 70 yards
If
rushing,
you picked him
and
on your
3
fantasy team
touchdowns.
this week, then you really reap the benefits.
Yes, I mean, 45 point, man, that was something. So the Packers looked really good. They doubled up 42-21 over the poor Detroit Lions.
The Detroit Lions are 0-2. What's new?
You could have said that in any of the last 3 or 4 years, I think. 0-2. We had the Vikings at the Colts. Man, what has happened to the Vikings?
Do you know what's a fun fact?
I thought the Vikings might be pretty good this year.
The Stephon Diggs, the receiver they had for the past several years, he was traded to the Bills this last offseason.
Mm-hmm.
He has more receiving yards for the Bills this week than the Vikings had as a team.
It's not horrible. Let's see. I don't think we need our number one wide receiver. I think we're good enough without
Let's
him.
trade him to Buffalo.
Let's trade him. That sounds like Houston. I mean, how can you get rid of your WR1, your number one wide receiver, and you think, we could do pretty good without him, and then he goes to another team and he's fantastic.
And now do you see
And
why
now-
the Vikings haven't won a Super Bowl?
And now the Vikings scored 11 points against the Colts. Looks like the Vikings are going on the back burner this year. Speaking of tanking for Trevor, that may be where they're headed. We had the Bills at the Dolphins. I mean, that was a really good game too. Bills won that by 31-28. The Bills, they look pretty good. That quarterback,
Josh Allen.
I think he's going to be good. I think there's a possibility he might be the Jim Kelly part deux. I don't know if he'll be that good, but he's probably the best quarterback they've had in a long time. Yeah, so.
Bills are 2-0 and looking good so far.
And the Dolphins didn't look too bad, but
they may need a change of quarterback.
I hope they put in Tua soon. I really want to see what Tua can do. We had 49ers at the Jets.
Speaking of injuries,
Man, they lost
8 players.
8 players
Eight.
to injury.
8 injured Niners.
Nick Bosa and Solomon, two of their starting defensive ends, tore their ACL, so they're out for the year. Again, that's sad. Man, it's painful just thinking of their quarterback Garoppolo got
high ankle sprain.
Got a high ankle sprain.
George Kittle's got a knee sprain.
They brought in Seifert, that great running back. He ran for an 80-yard touchdown the first play, and then bruised his knee up some too. So he's probably going to be out this week. And we don't know how long all these players are going to be out, but I know at least 2 of them are season-ending injuries. So
the Niners, if this keeps up, unfortunately, they may not even have a team.
The bad thing is the 49ers lost all those players to still beat the Jets 31-13. Man, and Sam Darnold is so good. I really think he could be good. I wish the Jets could just turn that corner. We had the Rams at the Eagles.
Speaking of bad offensive lines,
Philadelphia may be the worst offensive line in
Philadelphia's offensive line is just pure hot garbage.
Yeah, every time he drops back to pass, you think, well, he chose death. Because they're going to kill him.
What happens when you put that garbage offensive line Philly has against Aaron Donald?
You lose 37-19. That's what happens to you. We had the Washington Football Club team club, Washington Club.
Get spanked by Arizona.
Now, talking about a team that looks really good.
The Cardinals.
I mean, it's like they picked up one of the best wide receivers in the league for a cheese sandwich or something. Because they did. From Houston. I still can't get over Hopkins.
And Hopkins has made a big impact on the Cardinals.
Mm-hmm. It's like Diggs for Buffalo, without no preseason games. He
comes in and makes an impact,
and just chemistry. And then Hopkins comes in and
same thing,
chemistry. I mean, they look good. We had the Ravens at the Texans. Speaking of looking good, the Ravens are
like
still
the Ravens
a good
of last
team.
Year.
They're still a good team.
Lamar Jackson, typical Lamar stuff.
Typical Lamar stuff.
And Deshaun Watson, no weapons to throw to.
No, the Texans are going to be a middle-of-the-road team this year. Sad to say. But, yeah, I mean, when you give up...
J.J. Watt's just basically sitting there.
Mm-hmm. I love J.J. Watt. I think he's one of the best guys in the league, and he's a great defensive player. I'm not a Texas fan, but I love good players. We had the Patriots at the Seahawks.
Speaking of a good game.
That was a good game. I mean, down to
the
last second, run the ball. I still think if they would have done a fake run, spread them out, and do a little toss out, the Patriots would have won. But 30-35, man, it was a good game.
Russell Wilson is probably the best deep ball thrower in the NFL.
Yeah, he can throw a ball straight up in the air and it drop right back down like a rainbow right into the breadbasket, right into where it needs to be.
Russell Wilson really is showing that he's an MVP candidate.
He is, yeah.
He only has 11 incompletions and 9 touchdowns so far this year. That's MVP level
That's
stuff.
MVP level, yeah. And then Monday Night Football, we had the Saints at the Raiders. That was the shocking game of the week for me. The Raiders are 2-0, and the Saints are 1-1
And
now.
the Saints kind of looked like they were in the playoffs though last year.
Yeah, they went though and fumbled the ball, and then they fumbled the ball.
Kamara made an impact, but not really. The wide receiving core didn't really make much of it.
Well, I guess it showed Michael Thomas being out. That shows you the difference. The Saints' number one wide receiver was out, and you saw
The
impact.
struggles.
And
the Raiders
Kamara did fantastic. Caught the ball, ran the ball, had 2 touchdowns, but there wasn't enough firepower anywhere else.
And the Raiders pretty much capitalized.
On. Now the Raiders are 2-0 and might be a good team this year. I still don't have faith in the Raiders yet.
Let's see what John Gruden, Chucky old boy, can do with the Raiders.
I do like Gruden. I think he's a great coach, but I still don't know exactly what.
What are the Raiders? That's going to be the question.
They've been mediocre for so long. I want to see something before I think they're good.
If they beat a good team, then maybe we'll think of something.
Yep. All right, let's jump into week 3. We got some predictions to make. Thursday Night Football, we got a barn burner, one of the best ones we're ever going to have all year. The Dolphins at the Jaguars.
The NFL really needs to
Why in the world would you put that game on Thursday night for?
Why can't you put a more competitive game on Thursday night with like 2 playoff contenders maybe down the line?
Oh, no. Oh, maybe like the Cowboys and the Seahawks who are playing this week. Would that not be a good Thursday night game?
That would be better than Dolphins-Jaguars.
Now, I am curious to see the Jaguars and see how good they are. See if they can
clinch this W against the Dolphins, maybe?
I do say, do I dare? I'm going to pick the Jaguars.
You want to pick the Jaguars to win?
I'm going to pick the Jaguars.
They've looked decent the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, they have. So I'm maybe crazy, but they've sort of won me over a little bit these first 2 games, the way they look. And then Sunday, we'll jump into the Sunday games. We got the Washington Football Club team club at the Cleveland Browns.
I will pick Cleveland.
I'm going to pick Cleveland in that one, too.
Pretty easily.
Pretty easy, yeah.
But maybe a 7-point game, maybe a little closer, but I'm going to pick Cleveland.
I think it may be more than 7. I'm going to take them a little bit more than 7. I just think the Browns are starting to click, and their talent's starting to maybe show, and maybe,
maybe they can get this ship finally turned
I think
around.
that they might have suffered more from not having the preseason than any other NFL team did, because they have just been in rebuild mode forever, and this was their new coach, their new system, and they just. So I think the Browns may look better as the season goes on.
I think their identity was found basically on the run game.
They ran all over everybody with those 2, Chubb and Hunt, and Beckham even got him a nice little touchdown pass there. So they may be coming together. We had the Titans at the Vikings.
From judging what we've seen the past 2 weeks, the Titans will win this football game.
Oh, yeah, I'm taking the Titans there, too. I think it'll be by
the Vikings lost too much on offense, in my opinion.
And the Titans have some pretty good D. So, and the Vikings I think are pretty low against the run game. So, and Derrick Henry had an off week last week, which means he's not going to have 2 weeks of off week. He's going to run all over the Vikings this week, so. Look for that one to be honestly, that might be my lock of the week. You want to do some locks of the week? Tennessee minus 2.5, because that's all they're favored by. I think I'll take that. We have the Texans at the Steelers. Man, do the Texans go 0-3? Yeah, they do.
Yeah, they do. That Steelers defense with Deshaun Watson having nobody to throw the ball to on the wide receiving position.
No. And Big Ben looks pretty good. Yeah. Schuster looks like he's maybe turned into a WR1 for him. So I'm going to pick the Steelers on that one too. Panthers at the Chargers. Man, all the way out at the Chargers. I hate to go that far out.
I'm going to pick the Chargers in that game.
I picked the Chargers too.
Panthers don't have Christian McCaffrey, and they got a very young and inexperienced defense.
Yeah. So we'll pick that. Cowboys at the Seahawks. Seahawks probably, but they've got the Seahawks minus 4.5. Do you think the Seahawks will win by that much?
Considering how well has your defense performed?
Not good.
So judge it on that.
Probably not good. Yeah, they gave up 39 points to the Falcons.
So how good do you think they'll be against Seattle?
Probably not that good. But Seattle's DBs are worse point wise, at least fantasy point wise, the Seahawks have the worst DBs in the league.
That may be their weak point.
That may be their weak point. So the Cowboys may be throwing for some serious yardage this week too. Just for a Cowboy fan, I think the Seahawks are probably going to win, but I think I'm going to take Cowboys plus 4.5. Cowboys probably not
That's
to win.
a fair assessment.
Yeah, because it may be a 1, 2, 3 point game, but I don't think it's going to get up to 5. So I could be wrong. Again, I'm just a Cowboy fan. Got the Bears at the Falcons. I'm probably going to pick the Falcons.
You're picking the Falcons over the Bears after they blew a 20-point lead last week?
Yeah, I think they're going to be desperate. They're in Atlanta, and their offense is good.
But their defense is not.
I just don't know if the Bears can score enough to keep up with them. Because you got Trubisky.
Yeah, I don't think there's any debate on who's a better quarterback, Matt Ryan.
No,
or
Matt
Mitchell
Ryan is
Trubisky.
10 times better than Trubisky, but the Bears' defense is better. So, but I still think I still think
pick Atlanta?
I'm gonna pick Atlanta on that one. Yeah, got the Rams at the Bills.
That's going to be a good game.
Man, that would make a good Thursday night game, wouldn't it? NFL. Dolphins, Jaguars. Man, Rams, Bills. I'm gonna take the Bills.
You want to take Buffalo?
They look so good. I mean, they look like they're really there.
It's going to be very competitive because both teams have momentum.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Buffalo will win by 3 points.
About 3 points, yep. We got the Raiders at the Patriots.
Cam Newton, and he has flourished in his starting job at New England.
I don't trust the Raiders yet, so I'm probably going to go
with... You want to go with Cam and the Pats?
I think I'm going to go with the Pats on that one.
They've had a likable persona about New England lately.
I mean, they were 1 yard away from being 2-0 at Seattle.
So, yeah, they're a good team.
So, yeah, when you've got the Raiders going to New England.
Gillette's been a death sentence for many teams lately, so.
Yeah. We got the 49ers at the Giants. 49ers. I'm not thinking about that one too hard. I mean, even with 8 people out, they'll beat 49ers. The Giants.
Yeah, the 49ers have the easiest schedule, arguably, in the NFL at the early part of
that's
the
like
season.
That's like the mash unit bowl, ain't it? Because there's all the stars on that whole game's out somewhere.
Out, so.
Yeah. Bengals at the Eagles.
Bengals at the Eagles. You don't see those two face each other that often.
No, I mean, do I want a sore left ankle or a sore right ankle? I mean, a rookie quarterback or no offensive line?
I want to take the rookie quarterback.
Let's take the rookie quarterback. The Eagles are favored by 6. We'll take 60
plus
6. All right, we got the Jets at the Colts. Colts looked pretty good last week. I'll probably take the Colts in that too.
The Colts had a solid defensive effort against the Vikings last time around.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So we'll pick Indy.
Yeah, and I think Le'Veon Bell's still on IR right now. So.
Man, the Jets just can't get out of their own way.
No, we got the Bucks at the Broncos.
Tampa.
Bucks, yeah, Broncos.
They have more talent and they have less players injured.
Yeah. We got the Lions at the Cardinals.
Cardinals by 20. Is there a 20? Is there a 20?
So the minus 5.5 is okay with you on that one? I think we'll take okay.
Because the Cardinals will pass and run all over Detroit.
And then how is this for a Thursday night game that we could have had? But it's the Sunday night game, so I also can't fuss too much. The Packers at the Saints.
The Packers looking to put a dent in the Saints season.
Do the Packers lose one, or do the Saints go 1-2?
It's going to be a very competitive game. Who's going to perform better, Aaron Rodgers or Drew Brees?
It's in New Orleans, and New Orleans is favored by 3. So
coming off of a loss
in a neutral site, I'm going to pick the Saints. Man,
pick New Orleans.
I can't pick against Aaron Rodgers, can I?
But this is Drew Brees we're talking about.
Yeah, that's the one exception. I'm going to pick the Saints. And then Monday Night Football. Chiefs
at the Ravens.
Man, this is going to be some good football this week, ain't they? Chiefs at the Ravens. Baltimore is favored.
By how much?
3.5.
So it would be neutral. Then
I'm going to take the Chiefs.
You want to take Kansas City?
Mm-hmm. I think they've been playing some close games lately, and it's time for them to break out a little bit. Hopefully, Sammy Watkins will be back this week. I don't know. He had that concussion where he got hit in the side of the head, but yeah, I'm gonna pick the Chiefs. It's hard to until somebody beats the Super Bowl champ. I'm gonna stick with the Super Bowl champ. But that's it. That's NFL.
We hope you enjoyed.
We hope you enjoyed it. That was some picks for week 3. So be sure and leave us some comments down here what you think about our picks and stuff like that. hit the like button, hit the subscribe button,
Hit that groovy
hit the groovy baby button over here
somewhere on my
somewhere.
face.
Over here somewhere. But other than that, we'll see you for week 4 next week.
See you next week.